There is an exact moment when all hell stops to watch you. It's not when you're born, it's not when you die. That's when you wake up. And at that moment, everything changes. There are truths that are not taught in temples, nor written in sacred books. Truths that can only be understood by those who have gone through the fire and chosen not to get burned. Have you ever felt that your life is different? That the battles you face are more intense, deeper, as if there is something beyond the visible constantly testing you? This is not paranoia nor coincidence. It is recognition. Because there is a special type of soul that, when awakening, turns on a light so intense that even the darkness needs to stop to observe. And when that happens, when the spirit world recognizes who you really are, life ceases to be ordinary. Every step becomes an invisible battle, every choice an act of resistance, and every victory a defeat to hell. When a chosen one awakens, something changes in the invisible realm. The air around it becomes different. The light that surrounds you begins to vibrate in a way that few can understand. And it is exactly at this moment that the spirit world stirs, because the demons who live in the lower frequencies of existence can instantly perceive when a soul breaks the common pattern and begins to shine on another level. For them, a chosen one is not just a human being, it is a living threat, a constant reminder of what they lost when they turned away from the light. When the devil sees a chosen one, he does not see flesh and blood, he sees fire. A fire that consumes him inside, that irritates him, that makes him move away and, at the same time, want to put out that flame. This is why so many chosen ones feel that life feels like a constant war, even when there is no apparent reason. All hell recognizes the brilliance of a chosen one even before the chosen one himself realizes who he is. And it is in this recognition that the silent battle begins, the invisible attack, the attempt at distraction, the weight on emotions, the causeless tiredness, the doubts that arise out of nowhere. All these are desperate attempts to extinguish the light that troubles the darkness. But there is something that the demon never fully understands. The more he tries to extinguish a chosen one, the stronger this light becomes. Because pain, chaos, and loneliness, when experienced by an awakened being, become divine fuel. Before continuing, take a deep breath. You are about to understand something that few people in the world really understand. What happens the moment a demon recognizes you as chosen? But first, leave the like to strengthen the energy of the video. Subscribe to the channel and comment below a powerful statement. Nothing can extinguish the light that God has placed in me. There is an almost imperceptible instant when the spirit world turns to observe. It is the moment when the demon realizes he has awakened. This perception does not happen through human eyes, but through energy. It is as if a different vibration cuts through the dark veil that separates the planes, and when this happens, the chosen one becomes visible, but not in the ordinary sense. The glow that the demon sees is not made of physical light. It is a spiritual flame, a force that pulsates in the energy field of the chosen one and announces, "I belong to the light." This vibration is so intense that for those who walk in darkness, it sounds like a cry, a divine call that echoes and causes discomfort in every being that feeds on the darkness. That is why, sometimes, when a chosen one begins to pray, meditate, or simply elevate his thoughts, he feels an inexplicable weight, a sudden tiredness, a distraction, a whirlwind of emotions. It's not a coincidence, it's resistance. It is the spirit world reacting to the fact that you have been recognized. The devil, when he sees you, feels something he hates, spiritual authority. He realizes that he is not facing a victim, but a spark that bears the seal of the Creator. And even if he tries to get closer, he knows that he cannot touch that which has been separated by the light. But moved by envy and resentment, he tries in another way, not by attacking the body, but the gaps in the mind. It whispers doubts, creates illusions, feeds fear, all to make you forget who you are. Because the devil knows that if you remember your divine origin, he loses all the power he believes he has over you. And that's exactly where the spiritual war of a chosen one begins. Not against demons made of horns and fire, but against the subtle voices that try to take you away from your essence. With each awakening of consciousness, hell is restless. But the more you align yourself with the truth of spirit, the more invisible the traps that once held you back become. If you feel that you have already been recognized by the spiritual world, comment there. I know who I am, and I will not go back. When the devil sees a chosen one, he understands a painful truth for him. He cannot turn off the light directly. He cannot destroy that which God has separated, but he can try to disconnect that person from his own spiritual consciousness. And that's where the subtlest game of the spiritual world begins, a psychological, emotional, and energetic game. The first strategy is distraction. The devil knows that as long as the chosen one is centered in his essence, praying, meditating, serving, he is strengthened. So he plants distractions disguised as opportunities. Toxic relationships that feel like blessings, paths that seem easy but lead to burnout, all to steal the focus and energy of the chosen one. The second is doubt. Nothing is more dangerous for a being of light than forgetting who they are. Then thoughts come out of nowhere. Am I really special? Am I making all this up? What if I'm nobody? These ideas don't come from your heart. They are seeds sown to weaken your faith. The third is the emotional attack. The devil knows that the heart of a chosen one is sensitive, compassionate, and often lonely. So he causes rejection, misunderstanding, and even betrayals from people close to him. Not because they have the power to control others, but because they know that emotional pain is one of the most effective ways to bring down someone's vibration. The fourth is the energy weight. Have you ever felt that tiredness for no reason? That feeling that everything is heavy, that something invisible is draining your strength? This is a reaction of the spirit world to your light. When you shine brighter, the resistance increases. But make no mistake, this weight is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of impact. These strategies are desperate attempts because deep down, the devil knows that he cannot touch what is sealed by the Creator. He can only try to convince the chosen one to extinguish his own flame. But every attack that doesn't knock you down turns into spiritual muscle. You become stronger, more aware, more aligned. And that's precisely why, even in the most difficult moments, you feel that silent strength inside you. It's the spirit reminding you you're not alone. Go on. The devil does not fear the appearance of a chosen one. It's not the voice, the face, or the words that scare him. What he fears is what is behind, the awakened consciousness of those who know who they are. While the chosen one lives asleep, lost in the distractions of the world, the devil watches in silence. He takes advantage of it unhurriedly, fueling chaos and doubts. But the moment that person awakens, the tables are completely turned, because now they begin to see. They see the patterns, recognize the traps, perceive the energy in the environments, and understand the power of their own presence. The fear of the devil is born from the memory of what he has lost. He knows what it is like to live in the light and knows that he can never return to it. When he sees a chosen one awakened, he relives the pain of the fall, that eternal feeling of having been cut off from the divine presence. It is as if the light of the chosen one burns him, reminding him of what he can never possess again. But there is something even deeper. An awakened chosen one is a living key. With each step he takes towards spiritual awareness, he releases light for others to awaken as well. And this is what the devil fears the most, the chain effect. Because an awakened chosen one awakens others. And when many begin to vibrate at the same frequency, the hold of darkness weakens. Therefore, the more you awaken, the more the spiritual world moves. More resistance arises, more trials appear, but not as punishment, but because your energy begins to make an impact. You become like a torch in the midst of darkness, and darkness cannot stand it. The demon fears an awakened chosen one because it can no longer control him. He can no longer manipulate by guilt, shame, or fear, because the chosen one has already understood that true power does not come from outside, it comes from within. And once consciousness expands, it never returns to its previous state. When the demon understands that he cannot extinguish the light of a chosen one, he changes his strategy. Instead of attacking faith, he tries to distort the purpose because he knows that if he can take the chosen one away from what he was born to do, it is as if he extinguished the lamp without having to break the glass. The interference begins almost invisibly. It disguises itself as haste, fear, concern about the future. The demon begins to plant subtle ideas. Maybe this path is not for you. You're wasting time. This will not work. No, and while the mind is occupied with these voices, the heart moves away from the original call. A chosen one's purpose is always tied to healing, whether it's healing oneself or helping others awaken. And that is exactly why the devil acts so carefully. He does not try to destroy the gift, but confuses it. It makes the chosen one believe that his gift is a burden, that sensitivity is a weakness, that love is a waste of time. When he realizes that the chosen one is still firm, he starts to use people around him, friends, family, relationships. Suddenly, conflicts, misunderstandings, criticism, and withdrawals arise. The demon knows that if he can make the chosen one feel alone, he can weaken the flame of purpose. But what he never understands is that the isolation of a chosen one is part of the process. It is in this enforced silence, in this spiritual desert, that purpose begins to reveal itself clearly. Pain is polished, emptiness purifies, and what seemed like defeat is transformed into expansion. Even when the chosen one thinks it's all over, the purpose is still there, pulsating in silence, waiting for the right moment to blossom again. And when this happens, the demon feels defeat in the air because he realizes that all his effort has only strengthened the spirit of the one he tried to divert. Nothing that is moved by the spirit can be annulled. The purpose can be postponed, but never destroyed. And the more the chosen one understands this, the more immune he becomes to the interference of the enemy. In the end, the demon realizes that the mission of the chosen one is like a divine seed. It may be buried, it may appear dead, but in fact it is only taking deeper roots. There is a moment when hell falls silent, an instant when all the spiritual turmoil that surrounded you seems to lose its meaning. That's when the demon realizes that he can no longer hit you, and what he feels at that moment is something that not even human words can fully translate. First, he feels anger, not that ordinary anger, but a deep fury, because he sees his light expand and cross places that he once dominated. Every time you overcome a temptation which chooses the good even when everything hurts, a part of the empire of darkness fragments, and this infuriates you because it shows that all the control it thought it had was never more than an illusion. Then comes impotence. He watches you go through the same tests as before, but with a different posture. Realize that the words that once hurt you no longer carry the same weight. The people who used to destabilize you no longer affect you as before. And what torments him is precisely this: he keeps trying. But now you see it, you know where each attack is coming from, and it completely disarms you. Then comes fear. The devil fears the silence of a spiritually mature chosen one, because silence is the sound of spiritual authority. It is the moment when you no longer need to react, justify, or prove anything. You simply exist, and your presence carries the vibration of divine light. And this vibration makes the spiritual world bow down, even without words, even without confrontation. He also feels shame because the reflection of his light shows all that he has become. Every time you forgive, he feels exposed. Each time you love, he is reminded of what he lost. Every time you remain at peace, he understands that he has failed. But above all, what he feels is defeat. Because the awakening chosen one becomes untouchable, not because he is perfect, but because he has learned to align with the source. The demon can roar, it can try to distract, it can make noise, but it can no longer inhabit the same vibrational space as you. He just doesn't reach your level anymore, and when that happens, he moves away. Not because he wants to, but because his energy repels him. Your light becomes a sentence. And he leaves, looking for other distracted hearts, other minds open to fear, others who have not yet discovered who they are. Hell fears the one who knows his identity, and the devil knows. There is nothing more dangerous than a human being who has understood the divine force he carries within himself. The greatest victory of a chosen one does not happen outside. It's not about defeating demons, nor about escaping the traps of the world. The real victory happens within him, the moment he faces his own shadows and decides not to run away anymore. Because the outer darkness can only reach you when it finds an echo within you. As long as there is guilt, fear, anger, or doubt, there is a loophole. And the devil knows these loopholes, but when the chosen one decides to dive into his own interior, when he faces the traumas, forgives the past, lets go of what no longer serves, he closes each of these doors. It is in this process of silent healing that true spiritual power is born, the power that does not scream, that does not need to prove, that does not seek recognition. It is the strength that comes from integration, from peace with one's own being. The chosen one understands that his wounds were just tools to polish his conscience, and that nothing, absolutely nothing, happened by chance. When the chosen one overcomes the darkness within himself, something changes in the spiritual field. Its energy expands and becomes visible in dimensions that the human eye does not reach. He becomes a beacon, and he doesn't just ward off evil, he transforms the environment. Where there was once confusion, there is now clarity. Where there was fear, courage arises. Where there was pain, compassion springs up. This is the power that the devil can never comprehend, because it is born of surrender, not of control, of faith, not of strength. The devil feeds on resistance, but the chosen one frees himself precisely when he lets go. He understands that he does not need to fight against darkness. It is enough not to be a reflection of it. And that's where the energy reverses. All hell feels the impact of a human being who consciously chose light. His vibration breaks patterns, breaks curses, frees generations. A single chosen one healed is able to interrupt cycles that have been repeating themselves for centuries. That is the real power, the consciousness that becomes healing, the fire that does not destroy but illuminates. And when the chosen one reaches this state, the devil not only fears, he recognizes ultimate defeat. Because there is no weapon in darkness capable of hurting someone who has already made peace with his own shadow. When the chosen one overcomes the darkness within him, something changes irreversibly in the spiritual world. It is no longer just a target and becomes a channel. The divine energy begins to flow through him so intensely that the very air around him seems to carry a different presence. It is no longer just the light that protects, it is the light that commands. The demon who once watched him from afar now recognizes him as a spiritual authority, not because he screams or because he rituals or imposes fear, but because his vibration bears the signature of the Creator himself. And in the face of this frequency, no darkness can remain. The kingdom of darkness fears the chosen one because he becomes a seed of liberation. Where it arrives, chains begin to break, not visibly, but in the subtle dimensions. The people around feel something change. Even if they don't know how to explain, the conversations take on another tone, the emotions calm down, the atmosphere becomes lighter. The chosen one starts to radiate the same power that he was only looking for before, and that's precisely where hell comes into despair. Because an awakened chosen one does not only liberate himself, he begins to liberate others without even trying. Its mere presence becomes unbearable for the Dark Ones because it denounces all that is false. Lies do not resist, envy dissolves, manipulation loses strength. The demon fears the chosen one because he doesn't have to fight to win. He is simply victory. Light does not have to fight with darkness. It just arrives and the dark disappears. This is the point at which the chosen one becomes dangerous to evil, when he understands that he no longer needs to react, just to remain. And the longer the chosen one remains, the more the spiritual plane is reorganized. His presence attracts protection, movement, synchronicity. Everything that vibrates at the same frequency comes closer. Everything that vibrates below moves away. It is as if the entire universe begins to conspire to keep its light intact. Hell fears this harmony because it knows it cannot invade it. A heart aligned to the source becomes sacred territory. And that is why, the more the chosen one remains at peace, the more evil is destructured. In silence, in faith, and in presence, the chosen one becomes something the devil will never be. A living reminder that the light always wins. When the devil looks at a chosen one, he does not see an ordinary human being. He does not see age, appearance, or social position. What he sees is a presence shrouded in fire, a living light that challenges and consumes him at the same time. This light does not come from outside, nor from something that the chosen one has done. It comes from what he is. The demon sees the brilliance of the soul that bears the seal of the Creator. He sees the spiritual marks left by the battles that the chosen one faced and won. Each spiritual scar that the chosen one carries is like a symbol of authority engraved in his energy. And the more pain he overcame, the more intense the light that surrounds him. The devil sees something that hurts him deeply, purity in the midst of chaos. He sees a being who has fallen, who cried, who doubted, and, even so, chose to continue. He sees faith where there should be only despair, hope where there should be only ashes, and that destroys him because evil does not understand the strength that comes from surrender to the light. He sees the heart of the chosen one, surrounded by beings of light, angels, and spiritual guardians who move as he walks. Every step taken in faith creates vibrational waves that hell feels like earthquakes. The devil knows that when a chosen one speaks, the spiritual world listens, and when he prays, portals open, not of superstition, but of authority. The vision that the demon has is terrifying to him. He sees a reflection of God's presence within the chosen one, and therefore cannot bear to look at it for long. He feels the weight of divine glory vibrating in that energy field and retreats, even without wanting to. The chosen one may even doubt himself, but in the spiritual world, he is recognized. The demons call him untouchable, not out of physical fear, but out of awareness of the spiritual law that protects him. They know that there is a limit that they can never cross, the limit of light. When the devil looks at a chosen one, he sees all that he has lost: communion, purity, peace, and eternity. And that is why it tries to corrupt what it cannot destroy, because each chosen one is a living reminder of what the dark ones will never have again. And even if the world doesn't realize it, all hell recognizes who you are. They see the glow, feel the vibration, and know where there is a chosen one, darkness does not prevail. If you've come this far, it's not by chance. Perhaps you recognized yourself in every word, in every battle described, in every strategy revealed. And now you know you're not alone, you've never been. The weight you feel is not weakness, it is the spirit world reacting to your light. The tiredness that visits you is not giving up, it is the sign that you are bothering the darkness. Every pain you have overcome has engraved on your soul a mark of divine authority. You are a chosen one. And this is not a title, it is responsibility. It is called, it is mission. Hell can roar, it can try, it can conspire, but it has already lost. Because once the light awakens within you, it never goes out. And where you step, darkness recedes. Where you stay, the light prevails. That is your truth. That is his heritage. And nothing, absolutely nothing, can change that.